Hey, welcome to the Christel Crawford Show. I'm Christel Crawford. Although I could ask, who am I today? Who am I today? Because that would actually feel more accurate. Hi, Leslie. Hey, all of you guys that are joining me. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Alyssa. I made today's topic a question that Gary Douglas asked in the advanced How to Become Money workbook. Hey, Patricia. And it was, what am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be it would create too much money in my life? Now, as always, this is going to be your ADD journey and adventure through my world. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Tracy. And how this is hitting me in all the ways. And so welcome to the fray. The first thing I want to say is I just got off a prosperity, consciousness, wealth call with Stephen and Shatissa Bowman. So I have a bunch of material running around in my head. So how did we all get so lucky? Second thing is, if you guys like this, would you share it so other people can find it? Can't do this by myself, and I'm so freaking grateful for you guys that are helping me get all of this energy into the world. Hi, thank you so much. Okay, so I had a conversation with my mom. And I just the other day gave her the link and the information that I have a YouTube channel. So she's probably going to be watching this at some point. So hi, Mom. So it was a couple days ago. I don't talk to my mom a whole lot. We just don't talk a whole lot. And so when we do, it always hits me in different ways because I change a lot. And, you know, if you guys have been following me for any length of time, you've heard me talk about my mom. So this conversation was really different. I was in a really different place. She's always in a different place. But this is kind of where this topic came from. When I call her, you know, I ask her how she is, and she's being honest with me. She's like, I'm depressed. I'm tired all the time. I have no hope. My kids left. Hi, Natasha. Her version of being honest with herself and with me, like basically life is shit and I have no reason to live and I'm just subsisting. And it's God's job to end my life if he wants to end my life, but I don't have that choice. And so, you know, I'm just going to basically make do until I die. And, you know, this isn't the first time that I've had this conversation with her. It's not a new conversation. I've talked about it before. But it hit me really different this time. And, you know, I've been really, really choosing and actively pursuing, like, if I were the conscious leader of my life, if I were the creator of my life, if I were the source of creation, what would I choose? That has been my MO for quite a while and very actively in the last little bit. And so I was sitting there and I was like, I actually truly don't know. I would not stay on the planet if I had that as a point of view. So I had to start to, as I was listening to her, I had to start to really, really recognize that my reality with business, with creation, with life has nothing to do with her reality. Like it didn't come from her. It came with me. And it wasn't one of these things where I was like, you know, separating me out. I'm like, I'm nothing like my mother, or I don't want to be like my mother. It wasn't even that. It was this deep, deep sense of acknowledgement of what I'm choosing in the world and how grateful I am to be me and to have my reality. And so that was kind of one of the first things I wanted to start with today is, hi Carolyn, hi Jen, hi you guys. If you guys have any questions around this topic, like what am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be it would create too much money in my life, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'm so happy to riff on those today. So this was the first part of talking to my mom, was like really, really, really deeply acknowledging that I have a reality that's completely different than hers. It's just other. It's not related. And really acknowledging that I'm choosing it and that I'm creating it. And so that's something you can start to look at in your family dynamic or your parent dynamic or whatever that dynamic is for you. It's like if your childhood didn't create you, if you actually came in with all of your capacities and all of your smartnesses and all of the things that are right about you, if you came in as you, what is actually true about you? If you didn't have to mimic your family's pathways, pains, and realities, if none of that had to define you and you didn't even have to overcome it, if you could just be you, what would that reality be? And listen, this is a question that's probably going to be an ongoing discovery over years. I'm not saying it's something you're like going to go out and journal and then all of a sudden have a grasp on it, but it's something that I just keep asking, and I just keep being, and I just keep acknowledging. So there is a reason I'm talking about this, and one of the reasons is as I was talking to her, I was realizing that the things she cuts herself off from, with everything that she's telling me, with everything that she's telling herself, she cuts herself off from being. Now, this is working for my mom in all the ways that it's working for her. I don't know that she would think it was working for her, but it is, because when you're choosing stuff, it's working for you. It's serving you in some way. And I was noticing, simultaneous to, okay, it's working for her, like what's actually going on? And I was like, okay, she's cutting herself off from being her, from having her creativity, from having her resourcefulness, from being the source of creation, from the awareness that she can change this, from the awareness that other things are possible. Like, she's actually totally just cutting herself off from being. And by the way, if you guys are commenting, I can't see it. This app is total shit for seeing your comments, so I'm sorry if I'm not responding to you. But I see that you're here, so hi. So with that awareness that she was cutting herself off from being, I started asking myself, hi Doris, is there anywhere that I'm cutting myself off from being? And so this question of like, what am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life? So fast forward a couple of days, and I'm constantly getting ideas for new businesses. I have no shortage of ideas. If you guys ever need an idea, just ping me. I'll give you one. One of the ideas that I had a couple years ago was to create a dating coach business. I was dating a lot at the time, and I've sort of talked about this a lot of times. My roommate said to me, you have a brilliance with this, you should look at this, and da-da-da. So I started looking at it. I started going online and looking at YouTube videos and seeing all the videos that are out there that are absolutely ridiculous. And I created a couple of my own just to sort of dip my toes in and da-da-da. So what am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life? What am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life? I talked to my mom. I'm like, wow, she's cutting herself off from being. I'm like, what am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life? This idea came back around of being a dating coach. And so I was on YouTube a couple of days ago, and I'm looking at these videos, and I'm seeing again, like, there is no information out there about actually having choice and about being you and about what being can create when you're dating and all this. There's the 5 steps to this, the 10 steps to that, the formula for this, the devotion and attraction factor, all this stuff that doesn't actually create. And I was going into that flabbergasted place again, and I'm like, what am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life? And I realized that I'm not actually willing to be totally like the seductive sexual being that I truly be. Even though some people might disagree with me, even though I'm me in my videos, I wear lipstick, I have boobs, like might look like I'm being that in some ways, but that's actually a level of being that I haven't let myself know about. And when you are not able to create something, it's like when you go out into the world and you try to create and it doesn't work or it doesn't create the way you think it should. There's a trying and a not being. And you have to be able to be to receive. They're not separated, So if there's no money showing up in your life, the question is, what am I not willing to be? That if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life. And it's going to be different for all of you. And it's going to be different at different points in your life. Sometimes it's going to be like, I'm not willing to be slutty. Sometimes it's going to be like, I'm not willing to be mean. Sometimes it's going to be like, I'm not willing to be nice. What am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life? So I was like, you know what? I'm not actually willing to be the slut I truly be, the sexual being I truly be. I'm not willing to be as brilliant as I am in this area out loud. Sometimes, sort of. It's like all of these things are kind of sort of. Like, I'll talk a little bit about it here. I'll show up a little bit here. I'll wear something with really low cleavage here. Not that any of those things are the thing, but they're these indicators of, in my world, an awareness that I'm having that I'm not fully willing to be it. I'm not fully willing to be the expert that I truly be, the guru that I could be. And all of those words actually have a charge on them. And any word that you butt up against, it has a charge on it for you, right? Like guru, expert, whatever, rich bitch, pretty girl, fill in the blank, is something that you're resisting and that you're judging yourself for, so you're not willing to be it. So I started really looking. I'm in the process of changing this, y'all. So stay tuned, because there's a new business coming. And but I was even looking at that, like, what am I not? Hi, Yvonne. I was even looking at that, like, with my business that I have now, with like all my access consciousness facilitation. Like, what am I not willing to be? That if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life. Right now in one of my classes in the 10 Keys to Total Freedom, which I highly, highly, highly recommend you go through in great detail, we are in chapter 7, no competition. That's one of the keys to total freedom. Don't function from competition. Well, I'm in this chapter, and no wonder I've never read it, because I'm functioning from total competition. And it's like, what am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life? I'm not willing to not conclude. I'm not willing to be as non-judgmental as I truly be. I'm still judging myself for this, and this, and comparing myself to that, and that. Like, there's that question, what am I not willing to be, is like such a potent question. And the thing about when you're willing to be all of you, when you're willing to be it, no matter how it shows up, no matter how messy it is, no matter what it is, there's a potency and a level of presence and a willingness to create and generate that comes from that. When you are not being, when you are trying not to be, when you're trying to be somebody else, when you're trying to be a business owner, when you're trying to be a mom, trying to be a wife, trying to be whatever you've judged that thing is, you're not being. And so you don't have access to you. That's the thing, you don't have access to you. Let me give you another example. I'm about to go on a trip to San Francisco to go to a class with Stephen and Jatissa Bowman, but I'm also booking a photo shoot. So I'm going to get another photo shoot done within her image in San Francisco. Hi, Nydia. Hi, Christy. And it's a branding photo shoot. So basically you spend a half day with them and they give you like 52 retouched images and you get to use them in your social, you get to use them wherever you want. And they're intentionally designed to give you a look, like to give your whole thing a look. So my friend, hey Robin, my friend came up, she's helping me shop because I don't really love to shop, and she does this branding thing and blah, blah, blah. So she's helping me. And I did some pre-shopping on Nordstrom.com to sort of look at, okay, well, I want this look and I like this look and this would look great on my body and I want these colors and all the decisions that you make when you're branding. And then we go shopping yesterday. And now I've got money. I can shop a little bit, right? Like I got some, and we literally walked through every single store and I found 2 tops for $80 that I can use. They're good. They're okay. They'll do. And nothing else. And I literally and one of the things I do when I'm shopping is I include my body, meaning I don't force clothes on my body anymore. I used to do that. I used to actually force my body into clothes that it really didn't want to be wearing. And I would just, I don't know, my body was irrelevant. But when I go shopping now, I involve my body. So I'm letting my body shop and I'm letting my body walk through the stores. And I'm also looking for nothing. There was nothing that really stood out except these 2 shirts. Now listen, I travel to San Francisco next week, and before I go to San Francisco, I'm going to Houston, so I don't really have a whole lot of time to shop. I don't really love to shop. I got two businesses I'm running, and the third one I'm involved in. And so it would be more convenient if my ideas would show up in this, that would work better for me, right? But nothing. So I come home, and I don't know, I'd worn some stuff to go shopping, and I came home and we were hungry. We wanted to go out to eat. So I was like, okay, just hang on, let me change. So I changed into what I really wanted to be wearing, which was skinny jeans, boots that go up to my calf, and this nice cool black jacket and a scarf. I put my hair back, put some lipstick on, bam, done. And I walked out and my whole body went, like we were finally in clothes. We could finally be ourselves. That's what came through my head. Oh my God, I can finally be me in clothes. And then I heard myself. And I was like, for what reason would I wear clothes anything other than what would be me? Because I've decided that to have a branding photo shoot, I have to wear dresses? Because I've decided that a certified facilitator has to be fancy? I've decided. I immediately pock and potted all my decisions, judgments, computations, and conclusions. And I was like, what would it be like to actually create the website from what I actually love to wear? What would it be like to create my business from what is actually fun for me to be? Instead of trying to be something else because I've decided something. And it was in that moment I was like, oh my God, I just saw everywhere I'd been doing that. Everywhere I'd been trying to be professional. Everywhere I'd been trying to be a show host. Everywhere I'd been trying to be. It just doesn't give you you. You don't have access to the best tool that you have at your disposable. Your disposable, which is you. And yes, you're different every day. You have new capacities every day. You have new choices available to you every day. What am I not willing to be? That if I were willing to be, it would create too much money in my life. I actually wonder how my business is going to change. I wonder how many more people I can reach. I wonder how many more people I'll talk about. You know, what would change if you were totally you in your business? What would it change if you were just totally you in your life? How many more ideas would you have? How much more willingness would you have to act on those ideas? Because you wouldn't be worrying about who's going to judge it or who's going to care or what that's going to... You would just go. You would have this idea and be like, okay, so what 10 things can I start moving right away to get this into the world? Which, by the way, is the next thing to do after you have an idea, is you have the idea, which is the generative energy. And it was so cool to hear Stephen and Jutessa talk about this today, because I'm like, I just do this, but I didn't realize that it was like something that a lot of people don't do. Well, yeah. Anyway, you have an idea, generative energy, idea. Then you've got to move into the creation of that and start moving it into the world and start taking steps, wrong steps, any steps, bad steps, just move. And then you get into the institution of that idea. But that's where when you're willing to just be you and just go, you're not trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, how you're going to win and not lose, which all of that is this contextual reality that doesn't actually work for you. You don't create based on contextual reality. You try, I try, but that's when I'm being like the least amount of me. When I'm really just being me, when I'm really being me, man, I wear jeans and boots and I cuss and I make videos and when I feel like it and I boost them when I want and my business goes wild. That's when I'm being me. I create other businesses. I have weird conversations that bloom into other possibilities, right? When I'm truly being me, that's how life creates for me, just off the cuff, and because it does. Because I'm being that generative, creative energy that is me. And that's Dane Here's whole thing. Be you, change the world. But that, sometimes I would get into my head about that. Well, if I'm being me. So, I'm riffing in and around a topic that really is a continual exploration, a continual choice, a continual new choice in every 10 seconds. But what I'd love for you to look at, especially as it regards to what you're creating in the world, like if you were truly being you, what would you choose? How many things would you choose? What would you institute with no thought of consequence or anything else? What are you not being that if you would be it, would create way too much money in your life? And just ask the universe to show you. That's all you have to do. Just start asking this. Hey, universe, show me. Show me what I'm not being that if I were willing to be it would create too much money in my life. Show me what I could be. Give me a taste of what I've put so much comfortable distance between me and this thing. Destroy and uncreate that comfortable distance that I've put between me and my brilliance. Me and everything I can actually create. Me and everything that's possible. Me and all of the creative generative energy that I actually am. And show me what's truly possible. If I weren't creating comfortable distance between me and my brilliance, what choices would I have available? If I weren't putting all my creative and generative energy into putting distance between me and my awareness, distance between me and my creative capacity, distance between me and my generative capacity, what would I be capable of choosing? And then, you know what? If you're in one of those places where you just are choosing less than you know is possible, indulge. Be as pathetic as you're choosing to be. Go just be broke for 3 days, And I'll wrap this up by sort of sharing where I took my mom in the conversation. I adore my mom. She's one of the most potent creators I know that right now is choosing what she's choosing. And she, we were finishing up the conversation sort of, and she's like, she was talking and I was saying things and I was playing, you know, I'm like, what happens when I say this? What happens when I say this? And pretty much she was resisting everything I was saying. And so she was telling me, you know, her thing and what's going on with her. And I was like, it sucks. Like, I wouldn't keep going. Honestly, I would choose to get another body. I have to have something to live for, or I'm like, I'm out of here. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. And she said, well, I like when you tell me things. And I said, well, you resist everything I say to you. And she goes, well, when you say things to me, they're kind of like pie in the sky, you know, like pie in the sky things. She's like, I want practical things like, you know, go dig a hole in the backyard or fill out that form. And so I said, okay. Because I asked her, I was like, what can I say to you? She's like, well, you say pie in the sky things. Like, I want something practical, like that. And I was like, okay. So I want you to go dig a hole in the backyard, and then I want you to lay in it until you're done. And she's like, well, why would you say that to me? And I said, well, you wanted something practical. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to go dig a hole in the ground, and then I want you to lay in it till you're done. Now, she's not going to do that. I guarantee you she'd get more awareness of what she'd actually like to choose with her life if she chose it. She's not going to choose it. You won't choose it. Would you choose it? I don't know. But that's the thing with her. Like, she's just choosing not to choose right now. That's her thing. She's just choosing not to choose. She's choosing what she's choosing. And I said that to invite her to a different possibility. That when you're choosing things that you are saying are not working for you, you always have the choice to choose something else to see if that would actually work for you. Maybe you do want to lie in a hole and just wait to die. I mean, she's waiting to die inside her house. So maybe if she took the waiting to die outside her house, she'd get different awareness. I guarantee you she'd get different awareness. In the process of digging the hole, she would get different awareness. And so you got to look at what you're choosing and go, do I actually want different awareness? Or am I pretty happy? I'm actually pretty happy staying inside the house, being sick and tired of everything, right? Because I don't want to choose to get awareness about anything else. And that's what you got to get honest with yourself about. Get honest with yourself, brutally honest with you about what you're choosing, about what's actually true, about whether or not you even want to build that business you keep talking about building. Do you truly want to generate more income? Or would you rather just stay in the fantasy of it all? Because actually generating and creating more income would invite you to being more of you. That's this thing, you guys. Like, when you are willing to be owned by and be the conscious leader of your life and everything you desire is going to invite you to being more of you than you've ever been before. And it'll be confronting and uncomfortable and fun and inviting and discomfortable. It'll be all the things. And so you just get honest. Just be like, all right, well, I don't want to change anything right now. I want to be right where I am. And I'm just going to enjoy the shit out of that. I'm going to drink champagne and invite friends over and have a pity party of magnitude. Or go, no, I would like to change. I would like to try something else. See what that creates. What could I be? What could I be that's different? What could I choose that would actually give me a different awareness? What hole could I dig and lie in just to see if I even like that? You know? Just to change the energy for me. So what are you not willing to be, that if you were willing to be it and choose it, would create more of you in the world than you ever thought possible, would create more money in your world than you ever thought possible, would give you more of you than you ever thought possible. Listen, you are the creative source of your reality. And once you're willing to take that up and actually be it, that's when your whole world blooms and gets expansive and uncomfortable and fun, and it becomes the adventure of living. And you get to choose and create that for yourself. So I'm inviting you to ask this question. I'm inviting you to look at this. I'm inviting you to indulge in being pathetic if that's what you're doing. Don't make yourself wrong. Just be it, baby. If you're going to be it, be it. Go all the way. I'm inviting you to look at what you're not willing to be, and I'm inviting you to be. And that's going to be my constant invitation for me and us. And I'll tell you, that photo shoot's going to be very different. I'm not buying a white dress. I'm wearing jeans and boots, y'all. So we'll see what my website turns out like, but it's gonna be fun. I adore you. If you loved this, would you share it? And that's it. No more next week, more always, and I'm so incredibly grateful that you're in the world. I'll see you later.